Hey, Team Hudson's. Well, we are about to embark on a brand new year. And I know that if you're watching this and you're like me, a new year means you get a blank canvas, you get a chance to improve yourself. And I know that you're dedicated to this. That's why you're watching this. You want to figure out how to get better and better and better every year. I'm right there with you. I am so focused on this one. I believe this is one of life's biggest satisfactions that we can get, is working on ourselves and finding a little bit of self-improvement. But you got to pause for a minute and really understand some statistics that are out there to get you. The biggest one that we should all know, and please Google it for yourself, is what percent of New Year's resolutions fail. And that's the number right there. It's crazy. It's 80%. It's an extremely high number. So we got to ask ourselves, what makes us fail, right? And then what can we do to prevent ourselves from becoming a statistic? So I'm going to share with you the Hudson way that I've learned, that I want to share with you on how you can avoid becoming a New Year's statistic, and you can set goals that you can get out there and you can achieve this coming year. Number one, right off the bat, you're setting a goal. And let's talk about this in terms of sales data, but it can be applied anywhere. But I want to focus on that for our time together. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to know exactly what the truth was behind the past year on the data for whatever it is, whatever goal related thing you are trying to accomplish. You've got to know exactly what your numbers are. You've got to spend a lot of time saying, okay, well, this is what I have done in the past, right? And you've got to be able to set a very realistic goal. So once you know the truth, you said, okay, and I'll give you an example. Say, maybe you said, hey, I want to improve my IHD business. Well, you look back on this past year and you knew your data. You said, well, I only went on 5 house calls for the whole year. Then you've got to be really realistic on setting that goal for next year. And you might want to say, okay, well, if I only did 5 last year, then maybe I could step it up and I could do 2 a month. That would be a massive improvement if you could do that. So you might want to cut that even in half, right? And say, maybe I could just do 1 a month. That's just where I am. This is just really hard for me. You know, you want to set it super modest. You say, I'm going to do 1 a month for the first quarter, and then maybe I'll be able to step up from there, which brings us to point number 3, which is progress in achieving our goals feeds us energy. So if you set a very modest goal of something you want to improve in the next year, my favorite way to do it is to set it for the first quarter or maybe the first couple months, and then once you achieve it, increase it. Because the progress you're going to feel when you actually hit a goal you set out to do is going to give you a massive amount of energy. It's going to give you a lot of energy. You're going to feel confident that you're doing this thing that you set out to do, and it's going to enable you to raise the bar even more and then hit it again. So know your data. You got to study the exact figures. In other words, you can't just set a goal that says, well, I want to make $100,000 this year. If you made, half of that this year, it's too far of a jump to say that, and then you don't have the data tied to the actions that you want to create. So if you said, hey, I want to improve my income, that's great, but you need to figure out, what's my biggest opportunity to grow my income, and attack these things one at a time. This really is the basis for our sales math coaching. So if you're watching this, lean in on that, because you've already got a format to build on. And that is the sales math coaching, where you're studying the numbers and identifying the biggest opportunities that you have to improve your business. So, which brings us to our last piece, is that you really need consistent communication, which once a month is not going to be enough. That's good that you're doing that with your GM, but you're going to need weekly, at least with yourself, and a minimum of monthly with your leaders, to sit down and go over these goals. And you need this consistent communication. And the last really big ingredient is you need accountability. You need accountability that really makes you focus. You need to say out loud these things, maybe in your meeting with your leaders. Say, hey, I want the accountability. Please hold me accountable. We play a fun game where you can set your own consequences, and they don't have to be just ultimate death or these terrible circumstances. It can be something fun or challenging that you come up with, but if you ask for that accountability and you stay consistent, you're going to have it. So here's the recipe, guys. We're so confident that this is what works because we've seen it. So you're getting a chance here to say, okay, this next year does have a lot of opportunity in front of it, and here's a lot of the formula on how you can make our past work for you on what we've learned to help you have the best year ever this year. Thank you.